to the world and you look to the children of the world, look to the children, and you see how much joy, how much natural joy there is, right? Before they're taught anything, there's already all this joy present. They just have fun, they giggle, they play, they go through their emotions very fast, and they're at this very high baseline giggling joy and happiness. And then you look what happens by looking at adults, and you see that that joy, what happens is it gets covered up because you can't see it as clearly in most adults as you can in most children. So what that tells us is our most natural state, the state that we come in with before all belief systems, is joy. Then, via our innocent minds, we get programmed with belief systems. Through our experiences growing up, we're taught certain lessons. Through what people tell us, we're taught certain things about the world around us. Imagine you're a little child, you're a joyful child, but you grow up in this environment of hate. Let's just say you do. And it's very hard. Your joy doesn't get nurtured. In fact, it gets constantly pummeled, and you constantly see that the world around you is a hateful place. So in spite of being born with joy, your mind learns that the world's a hateful place and you're someone who's worthy of all that hate. I mean, why else would you be experiencing it? So that joy gets covered up and you become very highly influenced by your environment. Very highly influenced. So if you grow up in a world of hate, it's very difficult to see anything other than that. Until one day you might suddenly have an experience and suddenly it all shines forth once more. It's like you forgot about it and there it is once more. That natural joy, the joy that you were born with, that you were created with. Before all belief system, before all ideas, before all memories of who you are, there is that joy, that silent joy. And if you can't remember it, then it's just a matter of remembering. So that joyful self, I would call the unconditioned self, the self before any conditions have been placed upon the mind. And to return to it, to return to that joy, rather than seeing joy as an external thing in the future, actually it's present right now. An incredible joy, incredible bliss is present right now. And if you're not aware of it, if that's not your experience of life, it's still present within you. You just can't see it because it's being covered up by all these belief systems. Because you see, that's how the mind works. The belief systems are then projected out onto the world, and perception doesn't reflect what reality is. Perception reflects the beliefs through which reality is filtered. So right now you're just seeing belief systems being reflected back at you. And it's hard to see them because you've been living in them your whole life. It's really difficult to see what's a belief system. And it might even sound woo-woo, it might even sound absurd. But as you start to go into it and you start to undo those belief systems, you start to see the world differently. And then from that different point, from that point in which you have more access to that joy, in which everything is lighter, then once it's lighter, you see the weight you carried and how great it was. So that's the challenge. The challenge is we don't know until we experience it. We don't know. We might hear about it. We might have faith. We might be skeptical, but we don't actually know until we experience it for ourselves. So if you'd like to experience more of your unconditioned nature, then all you have to do is remove the obstacles. And I'm going to share how I have removed the obstacles. So number one is a book called Letting Go by Dr. David R Hawkins, which introduces the method of surrender, of letting go, which is essentially ignoring thoughts, ignoring imagination, going directly to what you are feeling right now at every moment, and being with that feeling, being with this sensational side, the actual experiential element of that feeling. What is the experiential reality of it? What is it that you're honestly experiencing? Not what you're thinking about it, not what you're imagining about it, but what is that radical, truthful, honest experience? What are the sensations you're experiencing? So through this book, you learn how to navigate that, how to be on a pinpoint on your sensations and let go of imagination, let go of thoughts, so that you're always with the sensation and you're constantly letting go. You're constantly letting go, what are you letting go? You're letting go, trying to change it. You're letting go, trying to change your experience in any way. To me, it's a matter of control. At the end of the day, it comes down to control. You're letting go of trying to control it, of trying to have things go your way. You're letting go of your demands upon the world. You're just letting things be as they are. And as you genuinely step into this place where you're genuinely able to just let everything be as it is without trying to change it in any way, then you step into greater and greater peace and greater joy, because you see that the joy is actually within you, and you can be in this space of silent joy independent of any circumstances. Once you let go of trying to change things, you can just be joyful all the time. That's the secret. If you want to be happy all the time, just be happy with everything all the time. That's what I learned through application of this technique that you also can learn if you read this book, Letting Go by David R Hawkins. The other thing I use is PSYCH-K, which has also been an extreme blessing in my life, extremely, because it allows you to go through the obstacles really fast, as does Letting Go. And in tandem, they're like superpower to me, in my eyes. So PSYCH-K is to do with subconscious beliefs. So let's say there's a heavy weight, there's a heavy feeling, and you don't know where it comes from. And it turns out that if you have a belief like I'm unworthy, if you have a belief like I'm not worthy of unconditional love, that the world is a dark place where I'm going to fail no matter what I try, if you have these beliefs, they really weigh you down. And first of all, it's a matter of locating them. So PSYCH-K allows you to actually identify what your subconscious beliefs are via muscle testing. Muscle testing establishes a line of communication with the subconscious, because the subconscious is beneath conscious awareness, which means you don't know until you have some sort of communication mechanism. In PSYCH-K, the communication mechanism is muscle testing to discover what those belief systems are that are in the subconscious. By this I mean, you might think consciously, I am loved unconditionally is present in your subconscious, but you don't know until you check. You don't know until you check, and often, for most people, that's lacking, just because that's how it is. That's just how it is. So PSYCH-K allows you to check, and then there's a really quick process to actually transform a subconscious belief. Like this, seconds, minutes. I do it in seconds for myself, because I'm so familiar with clients, with people. It takes minutes. It takes minutes to transform a belief. Let's say a belief, I'm unworthy, has formed over 7 years of experience, even longer, let's say. And what I mean by that is the past experiences of that individual's perceptions reflect this belief system that I am unworthy, that the world is a dark place. And suddenly you can come in, you can locate that belief system, and you don't have to worry about figuring it out. You don't have to talk your way through it. You don't have to do any of that. You just simply ask a question, what do you want to believe instead? And you might realize that, oh, I want to believe I am worthy. I want to believe the world is a beautiful place where all my dreams can come true. Whatever you believe that, and then once that belief is updated, which takes seconds to minutes, very fast, to update a subconscious belief when you know how. And PSYCH-K is a really effective way to do it, which I've done it to great effect in my own life and the life of those that I know and work with. So once you do that, you then live your life and you see things differently. You see things differently than you did before. And you basically keep going at it until you see things exactly how you want it. That's all. And if you want to, that way of seeing things can be totally aligned with joy and peace, can be totally aligned with your happiest self, with a version, not a version of reality, but actually to see things in the light of joy, to actually see that there is only joy. Okay, that might be a concept right now. There is only joy, but you can experience that for yourself and live in that joyful world, in that joyful inner space, free of influence from externalities. It becomes very obvious when you're in this place. The only thing that can ever influence your inner state is your own choices. So you can have that too. You can have that. It's up to you if you want it. If you would like that, then you can go in the description of this video onto my website and learn about what I offer, or learn about how I work with people. And feel free to book a first no obligation call, in which there are no obligations. Just we call together and I'll make it clear for you what it's going to take to be your most joyous self. We'll actually recontextualize your life straight away. In that first call, straight away, we'll start recontextualizing things in the light of joy. And I work through this alternation between recontextualization calls, in which I just share insight that I have learned through my own experiences, that I know to be very helpful in coming to a place of joy and removing the obstacles, because just hearing certain things will make things lighter, easier, more understandable, and it becomes easier to let things go when you understand them. So there's those recontextualization sessions, and then I also alternate between PSYCH-K sessions in which we just clear out a bunch of subconscious beliefs, and those are really, really fun. It's really fun to do, and it's really effective, and I hope to see you if you would like that. Thank you for watching this. I'll see you in the next one.